Organic marketing really is a way to advertise your business without having to go into paying for any kind of advertising like you would on any platform, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, anything. It's really important that we understand how to use organic marketing before we pay for advertising, which I'll get into in a few minutes. But let's take a look at really the definition of it so we all understand we're on the same place. It's kind of a wide spectrum definition that you could look at in many different places, but here's the way I look at it. So organic marketing is a digital marketing strategy and methodology that can naturally generate traffic to your website, your landing page, other platforms, whatever you're trying to bring your audience to, rather than paying for paid for marketing. Now, there's nothing wrong with paid for marketing, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So you can raise your brand awareness, you can increase your traffic, you can build relationships, and generate new leads through informative and valuable content. So this is extremely important because if you are paying for leads, and I'm not against paying for leads whatsoever, but until you really are comfortable with your brand, your messaging, creating relationships with your audience and with your followers, it's I don't know if you've ever signed up for something or clicked on a paid for ad, but there's this like a coldness and you're like, next, you just don't go on with it. You just feel like you're being sold something. So when you really get good at organic marketing, you can bring that into a paid for marketing process and methodology, which in my opinion works much, much better. And it's comfortable and people are more attracted to you. That's my opinion. Anybody can do it any way they want, that's for sure. So organic marketing doesn't typically generate responses and sales as quickly as paying for ads, but it's necessary. It's smart to create various organic marketing strategies that work for you before you attempt paying for a marketing strategy and campaign. See, that's another benefit. We'll talk a little bit more about the pros and cons in a few minutes, but it's really important that you find out what works for you. I know people that have put money into paying for ads and they didn't get the responses that they were hoping for and expecting because they didn't put into practice how to attract their audience in the first place. And starting from week one all the way through this course, I make it very like a critical factor that we understand our target audience and we use different ways to reach out to them through video marketing to find out, what are they attracted to? And the many different categories and types of videos that you can put out there. And there's even more to come with that in the next week of training when we really get into actually making specific videos and tracking them when it comes to organic marketing. So what are some of the organic marketing methods? This is a small list. There's other ways you can do it. It's a creative place that you can try things. You can use things like blog posts, guest posts, case studies, YouTube videos, unpaid posts on other platforms, literally any other platform, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. The trick will be how do you which platform should you choose? And we'll talk about that. Organic marketing is also user-generated content, such as reviews, testimonials, videos, or podcasts. And really, you can use all of this, right? Videos is a part of it. It's a big part of it. But there's all these other types of content you can use as well. And group attendance. I'm not going to get into all of these because it will just take too long, but I'm going to get into a couple of the really top marketing methods that really work and that I'm going to teach you how to do in this module and also in week 6. So let's talk about the pros and cons. Really, how does this work well and how does it not work well? So number one is it helps build rapport. It's wonderful. I love organic marketing for this. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, you can build this into your paid for advertising when you have comfort with that and you know what is working for you. So it helps you develop emotional connections and trust with followers, prospects, and clients that increase customer loyalty and conversion rate. Because that's what you're looking for is customer loyalty and conversion rate more so than making sales. And I think all too often we are focused on conversions and sales with a lot of the content we're putting out there. And like I continuously say, through everything I do, there needs to be a balance of sales content and relatable content, stories, information, all the different categories and types of content to put out there to attract people. I think it's because we either want to make money, need to make money, or that's the most important thing to make money, that our content is much too focused on that. So organic marketing is also cost effective, right? So you spend no money or not much money on organic marketing compared to pay for ads. So, I mean, it could be, it depends on what you're doing. And I'm not going to get into detail about all the different things you could pay for, but in general, it doesn't cost anything to do organic marketing. And lastly, it determines long-term success. Developing an efficient organic approach, you can develop a strong basis for developing your company and a solid base of leads who engage with your content and promote your brand through word of mouth for free advertising. It's a beautiful thing. And of course, with paid for advertising, people can talk about you and that's fine as well. But this type of free organic marketing strengthens you as a salesperson, as the representative for your company, for building a solid base of leads who will talk to other people. That's the beautiful thing. It's a very non-invasive, non-salesy, non-pressure-based way of marketing your business. Extremely powerful. Okay, some of the cons, just keeping it simple. Organic marketing, it's not going to give you instant results. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort to stand out in what I call a sea of data. If you require revenue and an increase in conversions right now, organic marketing is not a fast pill to rely on. The reality is, if you need to make money quickly, paying for an ad is not necessarily also a good thing to rely on either, because it's also not easy to do and it costs you money. But organic marketing takes time. You have to develop a relationship. You have to develop a footprint out there, meaning people have to become aware of who you are on different levels because of the type of content you're putting out there. So it takes some time. It can take months. That's just the reality of it. It has a limited reach. So organic marketing mainly connects to your followers. It's a challenge to reach people you don't know. You can reach more people through understanding how to use hashtags, which I'll talk a little bit about that in week 6. But you are stuck with your followers. But what's important is learning how to get a growing follower base with whatever platform that you have. And there's much more to it than putting friend requests out there. I rarely put friend requests out there at all anymore. For the last several years, I've rarely put them out. I have more people asking to connect me as a friend than me, and that's on all my platforms. And that's what you're looking for. That's what you want. So you've created a reputation. You've created something about you that people are like, oh, I want to connect with this person. And again, that takes time, but it's worth it. And lastly, it's not, and this isn't the only con, but these are the 3 that I think are very important. Competition for organic sources is intense because it's popular, it's powerful, and it's difficult to stand out from competitors. So if you're brand new at this, it's going to take you a while to really attract people. You're going to be in a sea of people that are competing for organic marketing. So practice makes perfect. It is a reality. Got to do it. So I'm going to talk about Facebook in this module. I'm going to talk about YouTube in week 7. I simply can't talk about all the platforms. There are some basic, I think you can apply what I'm going to share with you right now on pretty much any platform. But Facebook is, well, you'll see why. So hang tight. This is 2022, 2023 data. Literally, in the last quarter of last year and also in January of this year. So the number of Facebook users in the world that are monthly active users, almost 3 billion users in January. The number of people who use Facebook every single day, 2 billion people. Share of Facebook's monthly active users who log in every day, 67%. And number 4, the top 3 most visited websites based on traffic in the last quarter of last year, Google, YouTube, and Facebook. I want to focus on Google because it's a little more difficult because you have to really have good branding, good strategy, good copy, good messaging, know how to test it, know how to use UTM coding and tracking. And I'm not getting into that in this course, but it's very important. It's very helpful. And YouTube is another thing. That's why it's on week 7, and Facebook is number 3. But what's interesting about Facebook is this. In 2021, users engaged frequently with individual Facebook posts with these kinds of activities. They left a median of 11 Facebook posts in the previous 30 days. They left a median of 5 comments on Facebook posts in the previous 30 days. They reshared a median of just 1 Facebook post in the last 30 days. And they clicked or tapped on a median of 12 Facebook ads in the previous 30 days. So the reality is people engage with Facebook a lot. Now, yes, they engage with Google and YouTube as well. Those are a little more complicated than Facebook. But Facebook, check this out. According to SEMrush, which is one of my favorite companies that gather data for internet, is number 1. This is where I get Google, YouTube, and Facebook from. The reality, and Pornhub is number 4. You're looking at 10 billion visits monthly average in Facebook. So let's take a look at how you can boost your confidence and start getting good organic marketing. There's what I call basic activities for organic marketing, and then there's critical success factors for organic marketing. Basic activities cover things like you have to generate relevant content. You have to work on the visual aspect of your content. You have to join online communities and groups, which I'm going to talk about, and not to be salesy. So most of this stuff I've kind of covered in general up until this point, and we're going to really dive into it in week 6 and week 7 in YouTube. And then the critical success factors are to implement a strategy using the sales funnel and tracking the results. The reality is, with what I call 101 organic marketing, if you are not using a strategy, if you're not tracking the results, using a spreadsheet, and we need the focus. You absolutely have to focus on these things. Our businesses go from hobby to business. If you're not using strategies like this, meaning you're tracking, you're implementing a strategy and using a sales funnel, if you're not doing this, this course that you invested in is not going to work. It's just not going to work. And it'll be very frustrating. I've been there before. And I'll tell you what, it is not frustrating, but very exciting when you see things working for you because you're treating it like a business. So remember, when you understand which content your target audience wants, that they're attracted to, and where they prefer to get it, it's easy to create content that satisfies their needs. We talked about this in week 1. And these are things like the problem statement and the target audience and your mission and your vision. The reality is the more we understand our target audience, then the more we're going to be able to create content at every different level in our funnel to get a hold of them, attract them, answer questions, meet their needs, and get them to convert and become a customer. That's how it works. There's no question this will increase the traffic in your funnel, knowing your target audience. You're going to benefit from organic marketing only if you know your target audience and what they want to see on their screens. It's just the way it is. We can't go with what we find that we're comfortable with, or if we're not using a diverse approach to the different types of content we're putting out there, if we're not tracking it, if we're not measuring it, if we're treating this like a hobby, it's just not going to work. I encourage you to really step into overcoming your fears in this and giving it a shot, because one week after another, you'll get better and better and better, and you'll have more confidence, and things will begin to work for you. Finally, like I've been mentioning, review your vision, your mission, your problem statement, and your target audience documentation regularly until you achieve sufficient traffic into your funnel, resulting in conversions that meet your goals. And at this stage of this business for me, whether I keep this video in long-term or short-term, the first group of students that come into my course are going to literally see me do exactly what I'm teaching. And I have said this before, and I recommend it. This may be different in the future, because I may not be marketing. It'll be different for me because our businesses change when they grow. But right now, I'm literally working to grow this business by doing exactly what I'm telling you to do. It's the exact same thing. I never intended on teaching this to women only, and it shifted. And now I'm looking at my mission and my vision and my problem statement and my target audience and how can I create content? What are the different types that I'm going to do? What is the strategy I'm going to use? I could take the 3.4 fast tracking spreadsheets, which I'll also make available here to implement into my business and make it work. I'm literally doing what I'm teaching you. I mean, that'd be crazy if I didn't. So finally, I want to say to you, you can do this. Let me encourage you by saying, at this stage in the course, it's important to shift from hobby to business. Implementing a consistent plan is absolutely mandatory. I go back to week 1 where I talk about focus. It takes focus. You need to literally, and I didn't teach this because I'm not a personal coach, but you need to put time aside every single week, every single day. Actually, I do talk about it a little bit in the upcoming modules on how to do your organic marketing. You must put time into it. You must focus. You must put it into your calendar, and you must go in this direction, or this will not work. It won't work, right? So I encourage you to get focus and implement a consistent plan. It's absolutely mandatory. It's important to choose 1 to 2 platforms at the most. I'll talk more about that next. Well, not next on this video, but in the next few to come on how to do Facebook. Organic marketing is super powerful. There's more to come in the next modules. And finally, I want you to keep in mind that once you gain practice and consistency, it takes less work than in the beginning. what's coming up next is I'm going to show you how I use Facebook. I started with Facebook and LinkedIn, and I'm literally focusing just on Facebook right now. How, why, and what, and that's coming right up. So I'm looking forward to seeing you do the exact same thing as far as focus and consistency in implementing these strategies, because you're going to reap your rewards. There's no question. This is what happens for successful business people with their online businesses. There's many different ways to teach this. There's different personalities. This is mine, but the ways are all similar on this path. So I hope you really take it seriously and dive into this, and I'm here to help you. All right, so good luck.